Don't shoot. Hands up. 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 Don't shoot.
Protests across the country, including violent ones in Ferguson, as angry demonstrators take to the streets. Some are angry at police for the shooting death of Michael Brown. One group set fire to a police car at the Ferguson police station.
A young man was killed for no reason. Well, apparently there was a reason behind it, but his killing was not reasonable.
The media's had so many different stories, but at the end of the day, this young man lost his life. He had his hands up, and the officer still shot him.
I can't firsthand tell you what happened because I wasn't there.
I can't really give a full opinion on it since I don't know exactly what happened. Only people that know exactly what happened are God, Mike Brown, and the police officer.
But the two sides of the stories that we're receiving, well, the multiple sides of the story that we're receiving is basically going along the lines of Mike Brown being a male who participated in some illegal activity, robbing stores, getting into it with police officers, and the last time he got into it with a police officer, he ultimately lost his life.
I am Eric Garner. I am Eric Garner. I am Eric Garner.
As some of you may have heard, there was a decision that came out today by a grand jury not to indict police officers who had interacted with an individual named Eric Garner in New York City.
Eric Garner was a suspect in selling illegal things.
From the video that I saw, that everyone saw, he may have been doing something illegally.
He was physically apprehended by a police officer, and
He was put in a chokehold, held in a chokehold. He screamed he couldn't breathe 11 times.
Now, when I say I can't breathe, it brings tears to my eyes because he literally felt his life drifting away from him.
he lost his life.
He still died because he was in a chokehold.
To me, that's somewhat inhumane.
The police officer didn't get in any trouble for it. The guy who videotaped it, they tried to get him in trouble for it, which he was just there to witness a horrible thing.
It's heartbreaking, honestly, to be able to see that on your phone or to see that on the internet and see no justice being done. Like, what kind of world do we live in?
Honestly, I'm enraged because 2 innocent lives were taken.
I didn't know how to feel because before I became a Christian, I was an African American.
The world is just selfish.
Honestly, I'm upset, I'm angry as when I look at all of the victims, they look like me.
I feel very upset because I feel like my life doesn't matter to everyone else and that I could just go outside and get killed and nothing would be just, and the person who killed me could just go to court and just be let off free knowing that they took my life.
That just makes me feel like I don't matter. Any other black kid don't matter.
I feel both of those situations just show how much this world has strayed away from God and strayed away from what we were supposed to be.
So of course, like, first I'm angry, I'm enraged, I want to do something, but then as a Christian, I follow Christ. So then Christ tells me to turn the other cheek when someone hurts me. Christ tells me to pray for my enemies, and so I was literally confused because I didn't know how to feel. All I could think of is the youth that I see every Wednesday and Saturday, and thinking about that could be them at the wrong place and the wrong time.
I have 3 brothers, 2 of them younger than me, 1 of them older than me. If I ever was put in that situation, I don't know how I would deal. Like, it's heartbreaking, honestly. Like, it's really and truly Like, we have to, I don't even know. It's so disappointing and so upsetting to see.
We all have something called sin that lives inside of our hearts and makes us do things that we shouldn't do. And that, in the little voice inside of the police officer that killed Mike Brown and killed Eric Garner, he listened to that little voice that was inside of his head.
The battle is not ours. It's the Lord's. We can't take matters into our own hands.
Don't let that anger fester.
Anger doesn't get you anywhere. It just gets you angry, and when you get angry, you want to get revenge on something, and you could be the next kid that gets hurt by a police officer.
It's not a white or black thing. It's a sin thing.
I stay prayed up. I continue to pray for my enemies. That's because that's what Jesus told me to do. And it helps. It helps to pray for those that hurt you.
Even though you see all of this going on in the world, even though you see all of this evil and all the wrongdoings, you have to look at the brighter side. You have to look at what's coming soon. Like, Jesus is coming soon. The world will come to an end, and we will be with our Heavenly Father. Like, they will get justice. Whether they receive it on earth or not, they will receive justice before our Heavenly Father. And you can't put them in a place, like, you can't put them in heaven or hell, and you can't obviously put them in jail. So it's like, you know, you really can't do anything here on earth, as we can tell. But God sees all things. He, you know, he's gonna handle it. I mean, that's ultimately what we can say, because we see that the people we put our trust into, the police enforcement and all of the law and things like that, what we put our trust into can't handle what's going on. So we can't take it upon ourselves, because we're just as human as them. So we have to put it in God's hands. We have to give it someone bigger than us, you know, superior to us, because we can't handle it, honestly. And I mentally can't handle it. Like, it's a lot.